And welcome back. So here is part two of Brain in the Game. You've just watched the video. Wasn't the best quality as far as the sound goes, but you could get the gist of what was happening as far as what the kids were working on. So just a couple things, just a reminder. I wanted to talk about this channel called My Office. So I threw this channel in just to be kind of a safe area. So if I have a student that I need to speak with one on one, this would be a great area for me to do that. So I did create it as a private channel, but you could do it as a standard channel. And at this point, you could invite anybody into that room. And at one point, I think in the video, you'll see that I invite a student in, and I give them some praise. Hey, you're doing a great job. It could be used to say, hey, you're not on task. I need you to get back on task. And again, it's very subtle. So it's almost the equivalent of, can I see you out in the hallway? But in a virtual setting. Um, let's talk about some of the things that we saw. So we saw that the kids were able to share documents. So the documents were placed into the files, and they were able to share these things. So you can see this folder here has class materials. In class materials, that would be only read-only stuff. So nobody would be able to alter any of those files. But outside of that folder, there's several PowerPoints here that are available. But you could see that the kids were able to work collaboratively at the same time on these documents, which is great, and which is awesome as an educator, as the teacher, because you can go in, open that same document, and now you're watching as they are working collaboratively on that document. So you can make corrections if there's any misconceptions that are happening. You can tell them, hey, good job. I like what you're doing here. I like what you're doing here, and then as well as see progress. So if you open up a document and you see nothing happening, well, maybe I need to kind of wake up that room and say, hey, let's go. Let's keep on moving forward. Or if I see a group and they've completed everything that they need to do except for one area, I can go in and address like, hey, where'd you guys get stuck? Let's talk about that. So just generally speaking, and there's plenty of ways to do these assignments and plenty of ways to get the kids working together, but it could be overwhelming. But these are three things that you could possibly be well acquainted with already. So Word documents, Excel spreadsheets, PowerPoint. So as you're going through this rebirth as a virtual teacher, kind of sticking with what you know makes life a little bit easier for you. So just starting off small and trying these outlets is a great way to start to take those steps forward and to start to progress. And next time, if you see something here that works, great, do it again. If you see something that didn't work, fix it, make an adjustment, and keep on moving forward. So sharing any documents is a great way to get the kids working collaboratively. Managing channels. So as the creator of the channel, you were the only one that gets to start the meetings, which is a good thing. So you would go into those meetings, start those channels, and those kids that were in those channels would get enough notification that a meeting has started. They can, once they go into that meeting, they don't have to leave the general meeting. So that means that they would end up seeing something like this in the in the corner or somewhere on their screen. And what this is showing is which meetings they are involved in. So if I am in one meeting, this meeting would show that I am on hold. So at this point in the video, I was popping in and out of all three of the thunder, the lightning, and the rain, the thunder, lightning, and rain channels. And this picture is me in the general channel. So that in the general channel, I would get that indication that I'm on in all three of all these meetings are on hold. In order to pop in, all I do is click on play, the play button, and I would be moved into that meeting. If I want to leave, I just hang up, I click on the phone, and I'm out of that meeting. You want to make sure that the kids stay in that general meeting because anything that you put in the chat in the general meeting would be shared with them. There would be some sort of notification, if their notifications are on, that somebody has just said something in the chat. Why is that important? Well, if you set a time limit for them and tell them, okay, you got to be back in 5 minutes, this could be a way that you communicate with the whole class, even though they're in separate channels, to let them know, hey, it's time to come back, or you have 2 minutes, or you have 1 minute, or things of those natures. Maybe you forgot to mention something. Oh, quick reminder, don't forget to do blah, 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 blah. So keeping them in that main channel, keeping them in that same meeting is a great way to be able to communicate with them throughout the course. You did see that there were several students that were working off their cell phones. So they encountered some issues on their computers, and without my prompting, those two little girls hopped onto their phones and they started to follow along. So on your cell phone, you probably the kids can have access to the series of Microsoft Office apps. So you can see the Teams app is here. And just to kind of show you what it would look like, so this would be the Teams on a phone. So you can see that it looks, this is my cell phone, and this is an Android phone. So this is what we're working with. You can see the list of the teams. Once you go into a team, you can see that the posts are there. I'm under the posts. I can click. I can add messages, and then you can go into the files, and all the assignments are there on the files. So one of the little girls got stuck, and they made adjustments, and I was super proud of that team because they made adjustments and they were working on getting the tasks done, but she couldn't access the PowerPoint, or she couldn't add to the PowerPoint. But what she didn't know is that you can. So if you click on the PowerPoints and you can open up the PowerPoint document, there's a button that will give you the option to open up the PowerPoint app. Well, let me go back. So I could open the PowerPoint and look at the PowerPoint. So I wouldn't be able to add it until I open up the PowerPoint app. There will be a button that you will see in the bottom right-hand corner or somewhere on the screen that will ask you, that will show the PowerPoint app, and you can click on it and it will open up. And then it's just as simple as writing a text. So you could add to that slide. So I mean, there's ways to get it done, and we're going to see a variety of challenges, whether it be I'm on a Mac, I'm on my phone, I'm on an iPad. We're going to have to make adjustments as we go along the way. Another thing which you didn't see in the video was would be displaying work. So how do you hold the kids accountable at the end when you pull them back together and you want to see what they've done and how and possibly share with the class? So an idea that I had was to use your snipping tool. So most computers will have a snipping tool. You can go down into the search bar of your computer and you type in snipping tool, and this icon will pop up. And what happens is you click on it, and then you can click and drag over the specific part of the screen that you want to snip. Once you snip it, it saves it as a picture, and you can copy and paste, or you can paste it to wherever you need to paste it. You could save that image as a picture, but it gives you the opportunity to click whatever you want to snip, whatever you want to snip. So my initial thought process was to go out to the posts within your team, and they could right click. They would pull up the snipping tool. Maybe they snip a particular slide that they were working on, go into the posts, right click or Control V to paste it into the chat section, hit the send, and you get an addition to the posts similar to this. So this, in this case, this was the last slide that they were working on, their wrap, and yeah, I just snipped it straight from the PowerPoint and pasted it into the chat here, and I hit send, and now you can see it's in the posts here. That's one way to do it. A second way, which is probably maybe a little bit easier, is to use the snipping tool again, but instead of pasting it into the chat, you can, or the posts, you can go into the actual meeting. If you hover over your screen, you should get this toolbar like this, and this is to open up the chat. And the chat would pop up on the side, not unlike this. And then you could paste the picture into the bottom and send it into the chat so that it would look just like this. The good part about this is that as everybody's in this general meeting, I can go through as a teacher and click on the picture and it will get bigger. So, or I could have the kids click on the picture and they can look at it. So if I was sharing my screen, I could click on the picture and the kids would be able to see this, and I could highlight some of the good things. Or I could have the kids. I said, okay, well let's open up this particular picture here, boop, and they click on it, and we can all look at it, and it makes it a little bit bigger. So just a couple of ideas on how to share the work once they finished it. Again, my name is Frank McDonald. I'm the instructional officer for secondary science. Here is my information here, my email address, so you know how to get a hold of me. There are going to be a variety of ways to be able to reach out to the kids. My advice is to find one tool that you can use and use it until you perfect it, until you're comfortable with it. Then go out and find a second one and start to use that. It could be very overwhelming to hear all the different possibilities, and it could shut some people down, and we don't want that. We want to be able to we want you to be excited. We want you to be confident about using these materials and finding new ways to reach our kids. And that's the beauty of this whole time. We are going to find a new way to teach our kids. We are reinventing education on the fly. I'm glad to be a part of it with you guys. I'm glad to be on the journey with you guys. If you need any help, if you need anything, reach out. Let any of the instructional officers know. Let any of your IT specialists know, and we'll be glad to help you out. So again, thank you so much for watching. Have a good day.